Well, hi, everybody, and welcome back to MLR Weekly as presented by Rugby Wrap-Up. Matt McCarthy losing his marbles in New York City. Thanks for joining us, and we have a humdinger of a show for you. We have Andrew Quattrin, the Q Train, back from France, back to New England. He's in the green room. We also have our power pundit prognosticators with Alycia Washington and Nate Augspurger. We have John Fitzpatrick of Rugby Morning, and we have the best damn recap in rugby. Rugby Wrap-Up's MLR Weekly brought to you by Sheehy Auto Stores. It's easy at Sheehy. The Pig and Whistle, New York City, the world's best rugby pub. And Lean and Limber, stretching your way to a healthier lifestyle.
There is a massive responsibility on the 23 that are privileged enough to step out on that field today.
Let's get it all started with rugby's best recap. Up in New England, just a 20-minute subway ride from Boston, the three-peating Free Jacks continued to brush the dirt off their prematurely laid coffin, beating the favored Legion in something the Californians were not familiar with: less than perfect weather and grass. It didn't help that the visitors regressed to their 2025 RFCLA version by getting 4 yellow cards against the surging and reinforced reigning champs, yet somehow managed to get a key losing bonus point. Jacks, Rangers, Woodgie, and the 1st Regiment were all seen doing backflips after the 26-21 Free Jacks win. In the nation's capital, Old Glory and the Seattle Seawolves hooked up in the Desperate for Points Cup, with the schedule makers having the Seawolves play in their 2nd cross-country match in a row. But the Senate Judiciary Committee, or at least the match referees, found Old Glory guilty on one charge after the next, or at least one dopey penalty after the next, including a mind-numbing red card to Captain Rob Harley. And the road-weary Seawolves made the OGs pay despite it all. And yet, DC had every chance to get back in the game, but decided to repeatedly box kick possession away when needing a try in the waning moments, infuriating this pundit and his neighbors who heard him screaming at the TV. Final score, Seattle 30, Old Glory 25. In the middle of America, the perfect Chicago Hounds and the imperfect but improving Anthem went toe-to-toe for the first 20 minutes as the North Carolinians gave the Windy Cityites all they could handle. But ill discipline and some awe-inspiring firepower from Chicago saw the home team pull away with one great try after the next. Credit to the Anthem for not quitting and scoring a boatload of points themselves, earning a key bonus point in the loss. Final score, Chicago 61, Anthem 36. Whew! We could all use a break, so why not take a coffee break with John Fitzpatrick and his recurring segment, Rugby Mornings Coffee Break. John, it's great to see you. What news, John?
Yeah, Matt, I think the rest of the MLR teams could use a break from the Chicago Hounds. Matt, 6-0 after 6 weeks here, atop of the standing, seemingly running away with it, 12 points ahead of second. That's the California Legion at 3-3. Matt, obviously we're not done. We've got 4 weeks left of MLR regular season action here, but are you right now, Matt McCarthy, ready to crown the Chicago Hounds MLR champions?
No, I'm not, damn it. And, a lot can happen. This is a league of attrition. The Chicago Hounds definitely have the depth advantage. But, red cards, injury. I'm not wishing injury on anybody, but these things happen in rugby. Plus, arrests. Maybe one of the guys is robbing cars and reselling them on the street. We don't know it. Maybe. Could happen, right? So, barring that kind of thing, I think Chicago's positioned pretty well. The point differential is 142 already, in case we went down in some kind of tiebreaker scenario. So, the other teams would have to make up all those. The next best team in point differential is 16, and that is California, which sets up this great match coming up this weekend. But 30 points, a perfect 30 points. They are perfect in every sense of the word. So they look great, but look at New England. They're getting those bodies back. Seattle, back at home now with Anthem. You can't count those two teams out. Seattle's getting healthier, and New England's getting reinforcements and healthy and people back. So who knows, John? What else?
Yeah, the standing second and sixth place, there's a difference of 7 points. It seems like Chicago's got the first seed locked up here over the next 4 weeks. I mean, look at this weekend. Old Glory DC hosting the New England Free Jacks. Your boy Andrew Quattrin coming back. Sounds like Paulie Bellicana's coming back. Jameson Fonana-Schultz probably won't be back for another week. He's still playing over in France here. But if you're the New England Free Jacks and you're at the bottom of the standings, you got reinforcements coming. You know the pedigree that they have there. They're certainly not counting themselves out.
I think they get Ben Lesage back, too.
He'll be coming back from his suspension, Matt. But to your earlier point, don't buy a stolen car off of someone. If you need to buy a pre-owned or used car, make sure you get that from Sheehy Auto.
Yeah, because it's easy at Sheehy. Anything else, John?
No, Matt, that's actually, I did have a question. I don't know if you didn't notice, you didn't comment, but I got a haircut just a week ago. So I want to ask you, can you give me the exact date the last time you had a haircut?
It was the 5th of August, 1865 in Gettysburg. Anything else, John?
I think Gettysburg was fought in 1866.
On that note, I want to thank Mr. John Fitzpatrick of Rugby Morning. We'll be right back with our Power Pundit Prognosticators, which I can't say after this.
Mercy me, that could have put him in Ward 4.
I hope not, Bill. That's a maternity ward.
Need a great price on a new vehicle? Sheehy makes it easy. Easy Price shows you our lowest prices on the Mid-Atlantic's largest selection. Find your best price online or at any of our 31 dealerships.
It's easy at Sheehy. Sheehy.com.
If you're in New York City and want to watch some great rugby, have some great food, and some great times, go to the world's best rugby pub, the Pig and Whistle on West 36th Street. And we are ready for another epic episode or segment, whatever you want to call it, of the Power Pundit Prognosticators. And us Power Pundit Prognosticators will be making some prognostications. And with me will be none other than American rugby treasures, Alycia Washington.
Great to see you. Great to see you. Wonderful. It's always a pleasure, Matt.
Thank you. Thank you. And Nate Augspurger. How cool are you, man? How cool are you?
About as cool as you are, Matt. I'm excited to be here.
Sorry
Thanks
to hear
for
that.
getting me on the call.
Yeah, and just to catch people up, Nate, you're coaching in Minnesota now and giving back, right?
Correct. I'm working at St. John's University in the College of St. Ben's, an over 100-year-old college, and it's been pretty exciting. We just wrapped up our spring season, so time to start recruiting for the summer. Let's go.
And Alycia, NCR, you're a big shot executive there. Plus, you're in the MLR now, commentating, going on Sunday Night Rugby. You're everywhere, Alycia. You're everywhere.
I'm trying. Well, I had to fill the time after retirement. So here we are, filling it all the way up to the top. My cup overfloweth. We're doing great.
All right, well, let's see how you do as a Power Pundit prognosticator, Alycia. And before we do that, let's have you look back and tell us what grabbed your attention from last week.
Ooh, grabbed my attention. Bit of a mixed bag. I was really impressed by the number of opportunities and points Anthem put on the Hounds. They couldn't get the win, but they got the bonus point. I was very impressed. But at the same time, very unimpressed with the discipline across the league and the number of cards that were thrown of both yellow and red varieties and just the reviews. It was, discipline, I think, across the league needs to get a lot better.
The Free Jacks got back to a resemblance of who they want to be, what they're about, the style that they play. I know it was a wet weather game and almost pushed them right into their style of play. Heavy contestable kicks, really good control in the set piece, maul tries, things of that nature. I hate to say it because Legion's got a special place in my heart. I think they play the best brand of rugby. I mean, they scored a 90-meter try running out from their own try zone on the weekend, and that's kind of stuff. They're probably the only team that I think trains in a way where they can actually do that stuff. So I think the Jacks are back, and they're going to be formidable, a couple good additions. So, excited to see how these next 4 weeks play out.
We're going to take a quick break and come back and live up to our names or our titles of Power Pundit Prognosticators after this. is the Rugby Odds, where an unlikely pundit panel of a wordsmith, a WWE legend, a rugby star, and a supermodel scour the globe, seeking best bets and bad behavior. Are you not entertained?
It's 2026! Different year, new opportunity, and where does that start with? Your health. Health Enhanced Food is here to be able to make sure you get on the right path. We got 17 baking mixes just to be able to help you set you on your proper pathway. Whether you're taking this from the spectrum of ketosis, needing keto diet, gluten-free, or you need something more serious because you're diabetic, have renal failure, it's time to bake yourself into the best form that you ever have been. Head to healthenhancedfoods.com, use code RugbyOdds to be able to get 25% off your first order. And of course, Matt, no, just stop talking. Guys, stop him.
And we are back with our Power Pundit prognosticators making prognostications. And the first one up is California versus Chicago. Chicago, the road favorites by 6.5 points. Nate Augspurger.
I think California Legion are going to cover that. I don't know if they'll get the win. If they're playing in the Bay Area, I think it's pretty cool what California Legion has been able to do, change up their home venues, attract a bit more fans. I'd imagine that the Bay Area is going to come hot and heavy in pursuit to support the California Legion. So, maybe a hostile enough environment to make the Hounds a little bit better than they have already been. It's kind of them versus everybody else, but I think they'll cover the spread. I think Chicago will still get the win.
So, Nate, your experience, would you say that the San Francisco fan is a little bit more aggressive or louder than the San Diego fan?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, we've got a heavy Polynesian community in both areas, but the Bay Area is going to come in full force. So I think that should be pretty fun. We always had really good turnouts with USA. We played in San Jose a couple times. Anything around that Bay Area is going to get a pretty good crowd out. 42-37, Chicago Hounds.
I'm definitely going with Chicago winning. I don't think it's going to be that close. I think Chicago by 14.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Now I'm completely confused. I was pretty steadfast on picking California just because, I don't know, maybe I just want to see everybody start catching up. Maybe, there's not a lot of season left, so Chicago could go undefeated. You know what? Damn it, I'm going with California. Put it in the books. The next one up, Seattle, after 2 cross-country trips, road games, they are back at home at Starfire, -7 versus the Anthem, who had the mispleasure or displeasure of playing against Chicago in Chicago. Alycia, Seattle, -7?
Anthem's going to take this one. Yeah, but I think it'll be close. It's going to come down to a conversion or a penalty kick.
Wow.
I think it's going to be a close one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nate?
My gut was just to roll with Seattle. I think they got the win on the road that they needed. You mentioned they've been on the road for a couple weeks now, so they're going back home. Anthem, played well against Chicago, but still weren't up to par there. But when you look at the table, I think Anthem's got to be pretty happy to be sitting where they're sitting. And if they can continue to get some performances, this is kind of a desperate time for them. So I'll say Seattle's going to get the win. I don't think they're going to get the 7-point win. I think I'm with Alycia on this one, a closer contest, but Seattle is going to win.
And a couple of things here that weigh in is Adrian Balfour, the owner of the Seawolves, immediately texted me after they beat Old Glory and says, "Don't bet against Seattle." That was number one. Number two, Seattle was ravaged with injuries, and they are getting bodies back. And you saw Dan Creel in the middle of that back line and he's a moose, and he made a difference against DC. So he hadn't been healthy for a while. He's now healthy. You're getting all those other guys that are healthy. And Broccoli Man, come on, Broccoli Man is up there. He's going to be giving broccoli out to people. They're going to be loving it, drinking beer and eating broccoli. It's that old tradition. I'm going with Seattle, minus that 7. And then finally, DC, confounding DC versus New England, the reborn Free Jacks, riding their three-peat. Are they going to have 4 in a row? Right now, they're the favorite on the road in DC, despite DC's success against them. 4-point favorites.
I got the Free Jacks winning, Matt. I got the Free Jacks winning. I'm going to go out on a limb and say DC's going to cover. I'm with you. I think this is two franchises. They love going to battle. I think it's really close. Obviously, DC's had the upper hand in recent regular season matches. So I think it'll be close, but I got New England's going to take this game.
I'm going DC on this one, but it will be close.
Even without their captain.
Yeah. I think sometimes when you're without some of your best players, everyone else finds an extra DC in themselves, in the locker room, on the field, like off field. That's up for the guys to decide this week. But I think DC is going to take this one again within a try. Like it'll be a tight game.
And as a forward, it doesn't concern you that Harley calling the line outs, running out, the ship in the pack and all that. He's not going to be in there. But they're probably professional enough to figure it out with somebody else, right?
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm not saying it's like, oh, whatever, but I'm saying there's always, especially when you look at line out callers or any pitch leaders, there's always a number 2 that is hungry to step into that role. And, when they're given their opportunities, it's like, you could say, yeah, luck favors the prepared, and I'm sure there's someone prepared to slip into that role.
All right, and I am prepared, Nate, to go head-to-head with you on this because the rumor is that we will be in the Sunday night rugby broadcast, doing this game together. And since you've already picked New England, I got to pick Old Glory, and it's got nothing to do with me driving a Sheehy Auto Stores car. And it's easy at Sheehy to make that.
He can be bought. He can be bought, ladies and gentlemen.
Totally, I can be bought. And on that note, we're out of time, guys. I want to thank you both. Alycia, thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
And Nate, always a pleasure.
Yeah, Matt, looking forward to seeing you this weekend.
All right. Likewise, Alycia, can't wait to see you again. And on that note, we're going to take a quick break.
Digs like a demented mole there.
Scrummy, a new rugby app where you can play fantasy, track fixtures, predict results, and follow player stats. Play Six Nations Fantasy today for your chance to win tickets to the Champions Cup final. It's about to get scrummy.
You need your cleats? You need them tomorrow? If you order today by 3 p.m. New York time or noon LA time, they can have them to you tomorrow. Young, old, male, female, if you're playing on turf, if you're playing on grass, if you're playing in the rain, you're playing in the heat, they've got you covered. RugbyNow.com. Go there now.
Going in like a wildcat.
And now your Major League Rugby picks of the week via the Rugby Odds with John Bradshaw Layfield, the WWE Hall of Famer turned rugby advocate, King Gipte Belu, the inventor of words, and 3-time Olympic sevens coach Mike Friday.
Chicago's gonna be kicking butt today by North Carolina. There.
I'll take California on the road, 6.5 to win.
There's 2 teams you have a choice of betting on. If I'm not betting on New England.
Don't miss the critically acclaimed and entertaining The Rugby Odds, featuring big-name talent, exclusive highlights, strong opinions, well-earned insight, and irreverent, if not downright naughty, behavior. And we are back with Mr. Andrew Quattrin, not to be confused with Adam Quattrell, a.k.a. the Q-Train, or more recently, Le Q-Train. Andrew, mon frère, bienvenue.
Merci. Ça va?
Andrew, we'll get to your French in a second, but explain the hat to me.
I've already looked. We've prefaced this. You know my nationality. Proud Canadian.
Yes.
In the hockey playoffs right now.
Toronto Maple Leafs hat?
Montreal.
That's a Canadian's hat?
No, but it's just Montreal. Trying to get it on the camera for you.
Okay.
MTL.
But as we have found out about you, your one major problem is that you're a Columbus Blue Jackets fan.
I think you remember. Wow. Impressive. Yeah.
Scarred me for life.
Rick Nash.
But for the folks at home, Andrew, you have starred for Canada, played in World Cups, have played professionally in Canada, New Zealand, the United States, and now France. You recently returned from a stint with the Valence Romans in the excellent French D2, but you've been called back to Quincy, Massachusetts to help rejuvenate the Free Jacks drive for 4 plates in a row, or 4 shields in a row. What's the biggest change for you coming back to the Free Jacks initially, now that you're just returning? What is there something that strikes you as a big change?
I think probably just, honestly, the toughest change would be just getting to know learning everyone's names, right? Like getting to know, connecting with the boys. Got some new younger boys, and that is I struggle with, because I love connecting, with people, chatting. So that's probably my biggest issue, and you can't even, pick up where you left off, right? So it has been nice, because obviously in France, it was tough to connect with your teammates, right, and speak a different language. It's definitely been a bit of a challenge, but I mean, we've had a great couple past days in terms of going to the Red Sox together. We've just had like this mini kind of bye week, which has been nice to reset, and then in for day one tomorrow, which will be good.
All right. So do you know this statistic about yourself? You're one of 4 players to have played in the MLR championship matches for the Free Jacks in the all 3. Can you name the other 3 players?
I'm gonna try. Yep, and Ben Lesage would be one.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I think he came off the Paula Bellicana would be another.
Judges. Okay. All right.
And 2023. I'll go LaRue Milan.
Oh. Well, the unfortunate thing is I don't actually know the answers to the question. So I do know the question. I do know that you are one of 4. So I'm just going to say, it was LaRue Milan. Ding, ding, ding. Circle gets the square. All right. Moving on. What do you expect to happen now? Do you expect you guys to just completely rally and go right to the Shield?
No, we're still, I think it's a slow build, right? Like, I think you look at our past, even 2-3 seasons, we've kind of always had a little bit of a rocky start. I think last year we were 2-3, kind of maybe in a bit better of a position. But no, it's a slow build, and realistically, like, all that matters is you get top 5, and then you're right. Like, it's just, I think I see that anyone can win those semifinals, right? That's just the way I see it. So yeah, quarters and semis. Sorry. So
because you got a shortened season now. We don't have 16 games. You got 10, so you got to right the ship immediately. Got to be a little weird not having some of your Canadian brethren around, but you do have some. But you guys had a big Canadian contingent part of those championships, so now it's going to be built on maybe on the backs of some American players as well. But you do have Ben Lesage, and he's coming off his red card. We're not going to talk about that red card, by the way. Ben, what were you this camera's Ben. This camera's. But you got him coming back. You got Fontanana Schultz coming in. You've got Balakana and yourself. Those are 4 pretty good players to bring back mid-season as reinforcements.
Support. How can we best support the squad, right? And I think something that, like, if we're going to come on and be the team preparing the 15 for the game, like, how can we best do that? How can we pressure these guys? How can we kind of be, what they might say in American football, like a scout team? How can we impact those guys and make sure they're ready for Saturday, Sunday?
What do you have in your bag of tricks that you didn't have now that you're back from France? What did you get in the Valence Romans? Yeah, because French D2 is very good rugby.
Probably what you should be the first thing you learn is, like, having your eyes open and your head up, right? Because it's like you're kind of without another sense out there. You can't talk, and even you might even be without 2 senses. You can't listen either, right? If you don't understand. So, that was quite interesting. just keeping your head up and kind of thinking what's next, right? And kind of reading the game a bit better. Who knows if that's the truth?
How long did it take you to adapt?
I don't even know if I ever did, if I'm being honest, right? I think probably had to go out there and just be calm, like cool and collective and understand. Yeah, probably by maybe the 5th or 6th game, understand that it's going to be a little chaotic, but you just got to trust yourself and your instincts with what your body's going to, tell you what to do, tell you where to go. But yeah, at the first couple.
Did you ever get in a situation where there's a line out, right, and you're unsure what they just made the call for?
No, because it's rugby communication still to a point.
Right.
Obviously, if you have numbers and colors, right? Like, and you talk about accents and stuff, you might be used to hearing, a word in a different way. But I wouldn't say. I think with the rugby terminology, I was fine. But it would definitely be if you're rest is stay. So it's just getting used to those even little comms. How to tell someone to get around the corner, right? And so. Sometimes you might hear something I'd need to look rather than hear. You could almost align yourself if you close your eyes with your language that you speak, right? Because you could just talk to each other. But if your eyes are closed and you can't understand someone, they could be saying, relax, and screaming it at you, but you would think it was hectic. You know what I mean? So,
right. All right. Well, we're running out of time. But we talked about the hat earlier. You are a Columbus Blue Jackets fan. You're supporting your dad's love of the Canadians. But who do you want to see hoist the cup?
Canadians, for sure. Without a question.
Well, there's nothing for sure with you because you don't mind the Bruins.
I don't think you'll have to skim through that and see if I've ever said the Bruins. I mean,
you're on this very program. You mentioned that you're okay.
No, but I got to cheer for the Canadian team, of course.
All right.
Have to support the Canadian team.
All right. And who are you guys going to beat in the Shield for your 4th consecutive championship?
Yeah, I think Chicago would be pretty cool. If we're playing them in the finals, right? If you can dream up, I think, it's been talked about that there's some history there and stuff, and which there is, and they're rolling really good right now. They're a solid team, right? They're probably the team to beat. So that would be pretty cool. And, have Brock being there, right? That's probably the team with the most Canadians on it too, right? So that'd be quite cool. So yeah.
All right. Well, on that note, Andrew, I want to thank you for coming on. Andrew Quattrin of the New England Free Jacks. I got a train to catch, Q. I got a Q train to catch. See what I did there?
Mr. McCarthy, thanks for having me.
So lame. And that's it, folks. I want to thank Mr. Andrew Quattrin of the New England Free Jacks, John Fitzpatrick of Rugby Morning, our power pundit procrastinators, easy for me to say, Alycia Washington and Nate Augspurger. And thank you for tuning in. Make sure you check out the Rugby Odds. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Sign up for our weekly newsletter. Check us out on Flow Rugby. And please join our American Red Cross blood donor team.